Okay, carrying on with the Against the Grain beer tour. We have the newest beer out, the Banal Bees. Some people would say it's banal. Well, those of you looking at the Oxford Dictionary might say that, but those of us looking at Merriam-Webster, we're going to say banal. So Banal Bees is a honey wheat ale. It's brewed with some Canadian pale ale malt, wheat malt, and some honey malt from Canada. It's hopped with English Kent Goldings, German Hallertau hops. It gives it a really nice, clean, crisp flavor. We use 60 pounds in the last part of the boil, and that's going to add sugar, of course, but the yeast really ferments a lot of that out, so you're not left with much sweetness. You're left with a little bit of a honey flavor. So we designed the beer this way that we can add honey back to it in the serving tank. So we add raw honey back after it's fermented and right before it's served at the tap. So we added 6 pounds of the local wildfire honey from Hosie's Honey. I guess it's called Hosie's. Anyway, I don't know where they're from. Midway, Kentucky, I believe. So give props to them for their good honey. So the addition of honey there at the very last adds sweetness and a lot more honey aroma flavor. It's actually very, very potent there at the last. So turned out to be a nice balanced beer. I like it anyway. But you know, it's banal. It's fairly tepid, vapid, uninspired, or at least the bees that went into this was, I'm sure. Okay, so 4.5% alcohol, 22 IBUs. The starting gravity was 11 degrees Plato. This goes in the session tap. Oh, let's do our smell test. Yep, get a little bit of a honey aroma, light hop aroma. Just kind of nice, crisp and clean. Let's drink it. Ding, ding, ding. Again, not sweet, but a very, very balanced beer. This is one of the best balancing jobs I think we've done thus far. We actually designed this beer to be drier and hoppier right out of the tank so that we could add honey back to it to round it out a little bit better. So anyway, Banal Bees. Next on the beer tour is the Hop Tap, which is an ESB called Freakin on ESB. Came from the song by Fat Joe and Ashanti, What's Love? I remember that song from my youth. Not a very good song, never liked it, but it was on everywhere. There's a line, Freakin on E. So, Freakin on ESB. ESB is an English style. It's basically English's version of a pale ale. So we brewed this with a lot of Maris Otter malt, high quality European malt, and a Baird's Caristan from the UK. And then we just used a little bit of roasted barley for a little more color. Main component hop-wise in this beer is the East Kent Goldings, which is like the signature hop of the UK. So if you don't know East Kent Goldings, have this beer and you'll know what they are. If you like East Kent Goldings, you'll love this beer. Also, this is fermented with a European strain of yeast, so it gives it a little bit more fruity, almost minerally kind of aftertaste on it. Alcohol is 6%. IBUs are 54.5. Started the gravity at 14 degrees Plato. So let's take a whiff of this one. Again, you're getting a lot of English hops there, maybe a little bit of caramel malts. Really, I think the hops stand out the most here. These Kent Goldings, nice and flowery aroma and perfumey, very pleasant and mild. Really is kind of like the standard descriptor for it. It's very hard to describe it because it's not like anything else. As American hops go citrusy and resiny and evergreen, your English hops smell and taste like an English hops. It's really not a very good comparison to it. So anyway, we'll take a drink of it now. Ding, ding, ding. Has a little bit of caramel flavor, medium bodied, and again, some bitterness, a good portion of bitterness from hops, and again, that flavor of the flowery English hops, Kent Goldings, kind of lingers throughout the whole thing. Freakin on the SB, take it to your next rave, or you can just come here and drink it. Very good. Here we are again with our next beer for our self-guided tour. This is a tribute, the Shart Pants. Shart Pants is a tribute to a Three Floyds beer that was a collaboration between, I don't know, Three Floyds and some Euro trash. I can't remember their name, but it was called Shart Pants, something like that. I don't know. We just took it a step further. That's what we do, right? So then let's talk about what's in this beer. A lot of pale ale malt from Canada. Some Carapils and some Cara wheat from, I don't remember, but I think it was Germany. And special aromatic malt that's from France, I know, and candy sugar, which from Belgium, where Jean-Claude Van Damme is from. Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's where he hails from. So we have about 1,210 pounds of malt make this 15-barrel batch. Talk about the hops a little bit. Mainly American hops in this double Belgian IPA. And we'll talk a little bit more about how we treat this beer after it's fermented in a second. But we'll talk about our hops first. Columbus, Cascade, Nugget, Spalt. Yes, Spalt. But your main component here is that American hop flavor. So, talk about the numbers here. Alcohol by volume, a whopping 9.1%. That means it's served in these glasses, which are smaller, so you don't get too happy with it. IBU 73.5, original gravity 21 degrees Plato. This is again a double Belgian IPA, but what really sets this apart is that we aged it with some toasted American oak. We take oak spirals that have been used in the wine industry for a while. No, I mean not the same ones, but the same product. Have a lot of surface area of oak. We used a couple of the medium toasted ones, which are going to give you kind of some nice light fruit flavors, some really easy oak flavors, not too acrid or harsh. And we used one spiral of medium plus toast, which is a little higher toast. It's going to give you a little more carbonized flavor, some more licorice and tobacco type flavors, although I can't taste anything in here, and even some light one, which give you some honey aromatics and things like that. So kind of cool that we mixed up our oaks like that, mixed up our woods, whatnot. So let's go ahead and take a smell. Mainly American hops in there, but we have a sweet candy sugar-like aroma because the candy sugar and that there's so much malt and alcohol in this beer is carrying those aromatics up to our nose. Then we can go ahead and might as well taste it. Yeah, still this is a nice sweet beer. Has a lot of hops in it to kind of cleanse your palate off, and the oak especially is drying this beer out, giving you some almost some sweet and sweet but dry coconut flavor a little bit, and just some caramely flavors that weren't present in the beer before the wood went into it. So nice beer. I hope you like it. Something you can get shart faced on. It is shartastic. I don't know if I can make any more puns. If I can, I'll add them to this video. All right, back to our tasting here. Those of you following along, this is a beer called Heaven Maybe. Excuse me. It is a Belgian-style double beer. Double meaning it's like double strength than a single, I guess, but not as strong as a triple. I hope you're following along with that. If not, I can't help you any further. We can talk about what's in this beer right now. Started with Pilsner malt, some wheat, some special aromatic malt from France, some Munich malt from France as well, caramel malt from Great Britain, Ooh, honey malt from Canada. And that Pilsner malt I talked about was from Germany. And then we also added some soft brown candy sugar to this. So some nice invert sugar from Belgium. Invert sugar, apparently they pass light through it and it refracts the other way. I'm not exactly sure what that does to taste, but it's authentic, okay? It's authentic. So, anyway, the hops in here are some Nugget and some Kent Goldings, both from the UK or United Kingdom. So, let's move on to the actual tasting and smelling portion of the beer. Smell first. Okay, we're getting some fruity flavors. Why? A, from the malt, develop some dark fruity flavors. The candy sugar itself gives you fruit and sweet flavors, and the yeast as well, fermented with an Abbey yeast, gives you some spiciness and some fruity esters. But one thing I didn't forget to mention that goes into this beer is I put 8 pounds of pureed currants in here and 2 pounds of pureed raisins. So that's also going to give you lots of dark fruit colors and flavors, or colors, flavors, and aromas. And also it's going to bump our sugar up to get the amount of alcohol in here, which is a hefty 7.7% by volume. Hops in here contribute 24 IBUs, not very many IBUs for such a large alcohol and large beer, so that's why it's going to taste relatively sweet to you. Original gravity 17% or 17 degrees Plato. So, did we smell this beer? Yes, we did already. So let's taste it. All right, full-bodied, big mouthfeel on this. Nice and sweet. Definitely goes in our malt category. But nice, good phenolic flavor from our yeast, which has kind of a fruity and spicy flavor. But the thing is, Belgian beers like this are attenuated or fermented very completely. So this is like 82% of the sugars have been fermented out of here. So while it still is sweet, it's not cloying or sticky sweet. So that is the Heaven Maybe Belgian Devil. And as Janie Lane, lead singer of Warm, would say, heaven isn't too far away. I'm closer to it every day. No matter what your friends might say, no that way. Oh. Sorry. Another beer in our whirlwind tasting self-guided tour is the Schwarzbier. A Schwarzbier is a black lager. German for Schwarz is black. Beer is for beer. Shvart is this name's beer. Shvarted. So it is a Shvarted, is a Schwarzbier. It is made with Pilsner malt from Germany and some Caterpillar malt from Germany and also some midnight wheat from America. Midnight wheat gives it a very dark color and also a nice roasty flavor. Schwarzbier is normally not a bitter beer. It is also not a hoppy beer with the bitterness from the hoppies, but it is a nice, balanced, smooth beer, which is schwarz, or dark, or black. So let us experience this Schwarzbier. We'll start with aroma. It has the German Haas in it, which has the Hallertaus and the Schwartes. The Schwarze selectors, and that is the aromas we get in the Schwarz. So, next we try the Schwarzbier in our mouths. Nice, shot in my mouth with the light bodies and the good flavors of the bitterness from the hoppies and the dark beers from the hoppies, and it is a good beer. It is Harland, which is the alcohols is the 5.1s and the IBUs is the 30s. It's the original it's the starting gravities of the 12.5s in the degrees Platus. It's a good beer for drinking. It is a nice beer. We like it. Shvarted. Thank you very much. Black and mild. This is a smoked porter. It is rich, chocolatey, with a roasted malt character. It also is our smoked beer, so we obviously added a lot of smoked malt to this. We added mostly beechwood smoked barley malt. We also had a small proportion of our own cherrywood smoked barley malt. So, very good. Starts out with the high quality. We'll talk about the what's in this beer. Starts out with high quality Maris Otter malt from the UK, United Kingdom, could be Great Britain, the GB. The smoked malt is mainly from Bamberg, Germany. Comes from Best Malting. Munich malt, some Cara Munich 80, which is a caramelized barley malt from France. That's been about a high medium color of red in it. Gives you a nice, good caramelized flavor in that 80-degree range. Some black malt, which is really, really dark malt. Chocolate malt, which provides a lot of the dark color, but also some chocolatey and rich character there. And then some Bear's Karistan malt, which is a lightly roasted malt thing. It's just going to give you a nice body and some sweetness and some biscuity flavors in there. So the hops start out with Nugget for bittering, and Nugget for bittering, and Kent Goldings for flavor and aroma. So kind of a thoroughly English beer with the German hops in it, the German malt in it. That kind of is a hybrid style between the English porter and a nice German smoked beer. So, talk about the numbers on this. This is 6.1% alcohol by volume, 38.5 IBUs, and it starts out at 15 degrees Plato on the original gravity. So, let's smell and taste. First we smell. Obviously we're going to get some, mostly some smoked malt and smoky aromas. That's kind of the main component of this beer. We'll go ahead and drink it now. Boom, 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 boom. Full-bodied, roasty, smoky, black, and mild. It's not even so mild, but hey, we had to get the name in there. You know, what else you gonna? What else we gonna put on this beer? You got a better idea? Please tell me. So that's pretty much the smoked porter. Like it, you'll like it. Friends will like it. Mom, dad will like it. So get in here and drink some. You got a freak on that.
Hi, this is Tony Rossamato, proprietor and owner and manager of the local option in Chicago, Illinois. We came down and brewed this beer, Morning Wood, with Jerry at Against the Grain Brewery. I still don't know what they have against the grain down there. But anyway, I'm here. Jerry asked me to discuss this beer on camera for you. So here we go. This is a amber ale brewed with some Maris Otter Pale Ale, some flaked oats, German amber malt. It gives it a nice smooth body, nice sweetness. We then add American oak. We age it for 9 days on that oak. And then Jerry adds some cold extracted Mexican Chivas coffee from Blue Bottle. And that gives it the coffee flavor. So it's coffee and wood. Morning wood. Ha ha ha. Wiggity woo. Anyway, this is 7.1% alcohol, 40 IBUs, and 17 degrees original gravity. It's very hard not to get up for this beer. It's morning wood. Enjoy. It's Chingon.